Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel Learn with Fun by Zarar sir. So today we'll be discussing about a very important topic. I got many comment on it like sir please explain Wheatstone Bridge. So it's a very important and a crucial topic for your HSC board examination, JEE and NEET. So let's start with Wheatstone Bridge. Now what is Wheatstone Bridge is there is a condition that we will be understanding in this. So let's start with derivation and then we'll reach to the particular point that we'll want to learn. Okay. So assume this is the circuit where we will be trying to analyze Wheatstone Bridge. So let's assume some resistance over here. So I'll take the resistance as, I'll take this resistance as R1 and let's assume R2 over here. I'll take it as R3 and let's consider it to be R4. I'll assume the voltage source across this is V. Now if I assume there is a current flowing through this circuit is I, okay, and at the end also it will come as I. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be considering the current is divided into two parts. I'll write it over here as I1 and I'll write it over here as I2. So there are two current, that's this I is divided into I1 and I2. So this is the basic start of it. And there is a galvanometer which is connected to measure the current over here. Okay, this is the galvanometer. And the current flowing through this galvanometer, I'll assume it to be as Ig. Okay. So this current which is flowing through galvanometer is Ig. Now, what we'll be doing is, if you assume this, this branch, the branch current over here will be I1 is coming towards at this node and then it is getting divided into Ig. So I'll get this current as I1 minus Ig. Okay. This current is I1 minus Ig. Now, if you want to find the current through this branch current will be, it will be addition of I2 and Ig. So I'll write it over here as I2 plus Ig. Okay. Here it is I2 and here it is Ig. So this current will be I2 plus Ig. So we have assigned a current to each and every branch over here. Now what we'll be doing is, we will be assume the resistance in the galvanometer is G. So what we'll be doing is, we will be now applying KVL at this loop. Okay. So let's apply KVL to this loop. If I apply KVL to this loop, what will happen is, the I2 is in opposite direction, so I'll take plus. So applying, let's name this loop first of all, and let's write the name as A, B, C and D. So I'm considering loop A, B, D, A. Okay. Let's change the marker and then start with consider loop A, B, D, A. Okay. A, B, D, A. So the KVL equation in A, B, D, A will be I2 R3. I'll write it down. And it will be positive. I2 R3. Okay. And the next is I2 R3. This is in the same direction. So I'll write minus I1 R1. And again minus Ig into galvanometer resistance G is equal to 0. So this is my equation number 1 in the loop. It's very simple. These are in opposite direction. We'll write positive I1 and this current. Okay. Direction I1 and R1 is in same direction. So we'll take it negative. Ig and the loop consideration is in clockwise. So it will be negative. Only positive because this is opposite direction of our consideration. Now, for the balance condition of this loop, A, B, C, D, for the balance condition, Ig must be equal to 0. That means the current I1 and I2. So, for balance condition, okay, I'll write Ig as 0. For balance condition, my Ig equal to 0. So, if I write my balance condition Ig equal to 0, what will happen is, the final equation will be turned out to be I2 R3 will be equal to this minus I1 R1 will goes to the right hand side. It will become positive. I'll get I1 R1. Okay. So I can write it down as I1 upon I2. Okay. I1 upon I2 equal to R3 upon R1. So this is my first equation. I'll write it down over here. So let's assume this is my first equation. Okay. Now what we'll be doing is we will be considering the other half loop. So consider BCDB now. BCDB. Okay. Now if you consider BCDB, now let's write the KVL equation in BCDB. So we have already discussed about KCL equation. We will write KCL equation over here. So let's assume the direction to be as again clockwise. Okay. So I2 plus Ig is in opposite direction, so we'll take it as positive. So I2 plus Ig times R4. Ig and the assumption is again opposite side. So if they are opposite, I'll write plus Ig times G. Okay, just a second. This Ig looks very small. Okay, I'll make it I'll enlarge this. Okay, so this is Ig times G. And if this current moves in this direction, look, they both are in same direction. This I1 minus Ig and our assumption. So I'll write minus I1 bracket minus Ig times R2. Don't worry, I'll explain it once again. So we are considering this to be in clockwise direction. If we are considering it to be in clockwise direction, this I2 plus Ig and our assumption is on opposite direction. We'll take it as positive. Again, Ig and our assumption is again in a opposite direction. We'll consider it positive. And our assumption and I1 minus Ig is in same direction. We'll take it as negative. So in this way, we have reached to a particular point. Now again, condition for balance load. So for balance condition, can I write Ig equal to 0? Now if I substitute Ig equal to 0 in the above equation, this terms get 0. Okay, the whole terms get 0. This terms get 0. And what you are what is the remaining part is I2 R4. Okay, minus I1 R2, because this term is gone, this term, and this is remaining I1 R2. So it is minus I1 R2 is equal to 0. Now let's write again, if I move this term negative towards that side, it's become positive. So can I write I2 R4 equal to I1 R2? Okay. Now similarly over here I can write I1 upon I2 equal to I1 upon I2 equal to this I1 R4 upon R2. Okay, this will go to that side and I2 will come towards this side. So I'll name it as equation number 2 over here. So this equation is my equation number 2. Now if we relate the equation 1 and 2, I can directly write, so this is the best part, I can directly write the final equation as, and which is very important. So I can write the final equation as R3 upon R1 is equal to R4 upon R2, or I can write R1 if I move toward this side, and R4 as I mean to say, if I shift this R1 over here and if I shift R4 here as so, now it becomes R1 upon R2 as R3 upon, sorry, R1 upon R2 is equal to R3 upon R4. So this is your final answer. And now let's understand the concept. This is my R1, this is my R2, here it is my R3, and here is my R4. So final condition that you can understand is the opposite resistance or the same side resistances. You can directly write R1 upon R2 equal to R3 upon R4. This is the condition for balanced load. Now why do we use Wheatstone bridges? We can change any resistance towards, I mean to say, you can use temperature sensor resistor or RTD. And once this condition is changed, suppose I change the R2, I can calculate the other resistance and we can design our own circuit. So this is the way we use this whole Wheatstone bridge network or potentiometer kind of thing, and everything we can use it. So this is the concept related to your Wheatstone bridge. Okay, and we can use the whole circuit in a meter bridge or to find the different value of resistance in the practical. So this is related to your Wheatstone bridge. I got many comments, sir. Please incorporate or please make sure that you upload Wheatstone bridge network. So I've tried my level best to complete the whole Wheatstone bridge within 10 minutes. Okay, it might be extended 1 or 2 minutes. That's it from my side. Hope you have understand the concept related to Wheatstone bridge. Okay, do subscribe my channel, share it with your friends, and comment if you have any doubt or if you need any other related videos towards your electronic circuit or some other topics. Okay, that's what my aim is. Thank you for being a part of my channel. Thank you everyone. Have a good day, guys.